Hi guys, welcome to your reading this week. So I'm just doing a little pre-recorded introduction of what the basis of this week's readings are, so I don't have to repeat myself in in all 12 zodiacs. So we're going to do this week, it's called Your Positive Boomerang. So I want to give you, just tell you how I came up with this reading concept. So you don't just go, oh, so she's talking about exes or anything. No. So the positive boomerang is something that actually happened for me twice in just the past week. And they're two really different avenues of life. And I thought this almost feels kind of symbolic in some way. So the first one was a missing pancake mix. So my son loves a certain type of pancake mix. And about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months into the start of the pandemic here in North America, when it all we went into the first lockdowns and that, I couldn't get it anymore and I couldn't find it. And it was just such a significant thing because I used to make him this mix all the time and it was just kind of lost. So it was almost like a piece of nostalgia even that was just gone. And then I found the pancake mix last week and I couldn't believe it. Like, wow. So he was so excited and we started making these pancakes again. And I thought, wow, that came back. And then another way that you can look at the boomerang. So it is something that could be lost, something that you couldn't find anymore, something got taken away, and suddenly it's back in your life again. Like, oh, wow, that's really cool. So the other way the boomerang can come through is, actually, it's funny, it's also something to do with my son. So maybe about, again, 3, 4, maybe 5 months into the pandemic, it was just after, at least here where I am in Canada, you couldn't even get into the dentists. But then they opened it up for a little bit if you had emergencies, and he had a cavity that was actually forming in his tooth for 3 or 4 months or whatever. And it was a horrible experience actually at a child's dentist of all places, where they tried to force his mouth closed with the thing in it. It was horrible. It was really horrible. It traumatized both him and I. I stopped going there, but it caused for him a fear of going to the dentist, and totally reasonable fear to have after what he'd been through. And he was starting to choke, and it was terrible what they did. And anyways, so I actually started taking him to my dentist and I explained to them everything that he had been through. We need to build some trust here. So they've been doing that with him for the last couple of years and it's been going really well. And so he hasn't had a dental x-ray in 2.5 years because he couldn't handle the thing in his mouth and he was terrified about his last experience with it. He got a dental x-ray last week and I was like, oh my God. It just was this overwhelming feeling of getting past this huge hurdle that I thought this is going to be a big thing because he needs to do these periodically, and I know he's going to need orthodontic work. He, it would get he would freak out if they were putting things in his mouth to clean his teeth. And so it's kind of it felt to me, wow, this is so symbolic, these two big things. The pancake mix, so big, Cindy, but it was, that have kind of come to a head or returned, or at least you feel you've surmounted the initial aspect of something that was kind of maybe very large in your life at the time. So that's the basis of the boomerang, the positive boomerang readings that I'm going to do this week. So I'm going to look at the area of your life that this could be about, what this symbolizes, what is the purpose too, and why is the boomerang taking place? What's going to be happening? What's the whole point of the boomerang taking place? It could just be to make pancakes again together, or it could be that now you don't have to worry so much about an event that occurred in the past. That's kind of finished. You've gotten through it. So that's what we're going to do with these readings this week, and that's what the boomerang is all about, guys. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your boomerang, your positive boomerang reading, my friends. I'm going to start with the Energy Oracle deck with you, and then I'm going to go into my Modern Spellcasters Tarot and my teeny tiny Witch Tarot. Taurus. Positive boomerangs, or boomerang for Taurus. Positive, I said boomerangs, so maybe you got more than one that could come up in this reading. Patience for door to personal healing and happiness. Okay, it's funny that I said boomerangs and you got these two cards jumped out. So I'm asking for the area of your life. Oh, bye, honey. Did you good girl? Bye. This is Lily. She's just walking out. You got two cards because the first spot is going to be area of your life. And so we have patience and door to personal healing and happiness. So I want to say that there's one facet of your life that you've been incredibly patient in. I don't know what that is. I mean, it might have something to do with healing. These two could be somehow directly or indirectly related. I am hearing indirectly related, so that should be interesting. And then area of your life where you're getting a boomerang in is door to personal healing and happiness. I want to say that somehow, without pulling out any other cards, intuitively, it feels like something that, based on the boomerang concept of it, something that triggered a healing process in you. Maybe something, someplace, or someone. So it's almost like that energy comes back to you somehow. It makes it full circle. It feels kind of like a full circle energy, the way I kind of described like my son with a dentist, like that. Actually, both of those felt a little bit full circle, like it was significant cyclically. But so, okay. So you've got two areas of your life. One is a particular area where you've been incredibly patient. And another one has something to do with some sort of door to personal healing and happiness that I want to say kind of got opened. It got opened or triggered by some sort of, by a person, event, or a place of some sort. And maybe you're almost completed this. I'm not sure. Interesting. Okay. So what this symbolizes, what is the deeper symbolism of this? Geez, your cards are excited, aren't they? Contract. So this could have a lot to do with karma. This could have a lot to do with karma. This could have something to do specifically as well with like written contracts, like earthly type humanity contracts. Okay. A why? Why? Victory, that's why. So you can have success here. So you can achieve something. I think those your cards are really excited to talk. Door to value. Adjacent possibilities and door to value. Okay. Well, I kind of feel like maybe you've been working through a lot of different things along the way. Because it's boomerang, there might be something like an association here with a door that you open. Oh, the door to personal healing and happiness. That door that you opened at some point or started to open, something happened and it made you kind of look inside, had you going through some sort of a healing process. That door kind of feels like it's returning to you in value, in some sort of like physical value, something that can be measured. But I feel like you've opened maybe even a lot of doors in between, like when something initiated in your life and where you are now and it's coming back. It's almost like it's coming back to you in some form of, I mean, it could be money value, physical value. But hey, if you want to know why the boomerang is taking place, that's good. That's a good reason, no? Symbolism too is obligation. Obligations, different obligations. Now I'm going to pull out a little separate pile for both patience and door to personal healing and happiness. And see if these are connected. Two separate facets of your life. Wow. Wow. Okay. This is very interesting. The symbolism. Wow. Whew. Some things are good and some things are not good. That's what the symbolism is. I'm going to tell you right now, why this is taking place for you, it's spectacular. It's really good. It's nice. So you got the High Priestess at the bottom. I kind of feel like I'm getting like you've done work. You've done work with the High Priestess energy. So like hidden facets of subconscious and conscious understandings of self. Now this, what is the symbolism? Like, to me, you got kind of a deep card here, and it is very deep. I'm going to actually go there first. The symbolism of your boomerang. 6 of Cups, the Lovers, the 5 of Cups. Some of the divine choices, some of the divine opportunities that come to us do not always result in what feels good to us. Like sometimes the journey that you take to the destination, I want to say both the journey and the destination may be different than what you perceived or what you would have thought. But there's also something here about sweetness can turn to sour in terms of symbolism. Okay, the door to personal healing and happiness, it definitely does have something to do with, I feel like, some sort of an event or a person or something that took place in your life that opened the door. Like there was something inside you, and something inside you that needed to be kind of looked at more deeply. And that happened through, honestly, this looks like an argumentative relationship, commitment of some sort that you removed yourself from, or was removed from you, however that plays out. But there's no winners here in this. I want to say that too with the contract. Sometimes there are no winners and sometimes there are no losers with the symbolism. Because there are some soulmates here that are here and they're high level soulmate. This is a pretty high, this has a feeling of a very high level soulmate energy, especially with contract, right? But the 5 of Cups, no. That's interesting though. So you're going to have victory though. You're going to have victory. So let's see. Patience is the other one that's come out. And you have the Ace of Cups, the Fool, and the 8 of Pentacles with this patience. This just has the feeling of there being a whole lot inside of you and you're feeling really fresh and ready to get started. But there's a whole bunch of work that needs to be done before you can do that. Right? And being patient, like working through things, mastering goals. Some of these goals feel like they may have been put in front of you. These feel like obstacles that the universe put in front of you. And they ended up becoming goals of achievement, like working through them. Almost, walking on a path and all of a sudden the universe has put this massive boulder on the path, and on either side of it there's these huge trees that you can't get around, so you have to chip away at this boulder. It's like, this is tedious. This is a lot of work. I was going down a path here. It was a good path. It was a nice path. It's almost as if with patience, the longer you spend chipping away at this massive boulder, the more creative you become in it. And then you start to see things within it that you never saw. You just saw it as an obstacle. But over time, you've chipped off a few pieces and you look at it and go, oh, it looks a bit like a face. Oh, what if I do? You start to become creative in this with the 8 of Pentacles, because it's like you're mastering it now. It could have something to do with work too. Like just being, there's a lot of symbolism I think going to be in these readings this week. But I think too with patience, there's something here that you've wanted to maybe start something new in terms of work or a new hobby or a project. It's like you're ready for the sun. You're ready for the sun. and ready to take even like, I'm going to take some chances. Today's a good day. Feels like a good day. But then it starts to rain. You know, it feels like that. And because it's coming up, as your boomerang, I feel like the sun's going to come out again. The sun will come out tomorrow. Oh yeah, and speaking of which, so why is the boomerang taking place? You had the victory. You have the 10 of Cups, Judgment, and the Star. That's pretty nice. So this is really about fulfilling dreams and wishes for yourself, rising up, having a new chance here. This is being catapulted. This is a new beginning. It's almost like the new beginning that you've been patiently waiting for with the Ace of Cups, the Fools, oh, the Eight of Pentacles. There's some work to be done here. But now this new beginning with Judgment, it's like truly rising up. It's being supported by the 10 of Cups. So I want to say too, there's sort of the energy of a lot of support coming around you. So it might be that you had a lot of supportive networks in the past, emotionally, great friends, family, whatever that could be, partnerships, and then it dissolved, or you went into a different cycle where that wasn't around you very much. And it almost feels like you had to focus on something that didn't feel very good, or something that didn't feel very good, focused on you to open up this door and look deeply inside yourself and find little facets of you that were wounded, in pain, sad, disappointed, and healing those. I do feel like for some of you too, you've had major, now whether this is the same person or not, I'm going to put that disclaimer in. I don't know if this is the same person or not for you, because I do see something here too as well with the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Contract card. It would be pretty hard to avoid this connection, but like long-term partnerships, like marriage, cohabitation, that sort of thing, and these ending in disappointment. You got, there's 3 5s here, right? You got the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Cups. The only thing you don't have is the 5 of Pentacles, but, well, you have the 8 of Pentacles. So definitely working on something. Like, this is energy that was not long-term sustainable. If you've taken a break from a relationship to do some healing, I want to say again, this is, in some sense, it's fulfilling a contract. It is fulfilling contracts that you have between yourself and other soulmates that are connected to you in this lifetime. You're definitely going into a really good, this boomerang is going to feel great. It's not going to, I'm not, as well, this doesn't mean there's not going to be other stuff in your life that's kind of difficult or disappointing or hard to move. I'm asking about the positive boomerangs, right? So something is definitely coming back to you here in terms of really nice relationships. This is healed. This is a new beginning. This is healed energy. This is very enlightened as well. You might just come out on the other side as very, very enlightened at a time period where new relationships start moving towards you. I just want to see if the door to value and the door to personal healing and happiness, are they connected? It just almost feels like, you know, this door started to open. And so now that it's fully open, it's almost like a reflex that this door starts to open, like abundance. The door to personal healing and happiness and the door to value, are they connected? Wow, you have the King of Wands and the 9 of Cups. All of these are both very good. I mean, there's a lot of self-empowerment here. There's a lot of like trusting and believing in yourself. The door to value, this is a dream. So I don't know what it is that you're waiting for, that you're hoping for. This is like the fulfillment of a dream. And there is definitely Oh wait, that goes here. It was with there. There's definitely it's like your emotions are connected to the physical in a very good way. So you start producing really good physical outcomes. So patience. You've been patient. The area of your life that you've been patient about is coming around to you. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups. It's coming around. Boy, is it coming around. Love, expression, desire, impulse, drive, creativity. Everything is opening up here. It's almost like all this energy that was kind of sitting and waiting is now, almost want to say your boomerang feels like it kind of got caught up in a tree. It's like, go. I don't know. It's like it got caught up in a tree. And then some wind has gone through or some storms have happened. And the boomerang finally breaks through. Now it's coming around. The Ace of Cups. The Nine of Swords. The Fool. Or the Tower. And the Empress. Why do I feel like the Fool and the Tower were connected? But with this deck, in the Aries reading, that's funny how they came out together. Eight of Pentacles. Ten of Swords. Eight of Cups. King of Pentacles and the Star. What is this? Yeah, there's something here that you were healing. Obviously, Cindy, you pulled the card out. I want to say there's some sort of connection here to status and wealth, or how you were connected to that and really distancing yourself from it. And then that brings us the Star over here. You're the boomerang. That's what it is. You're the boomerang. You are your own boomerang. Like, it's almost like energy has been circling around itself to let itself move forward. Circling around itself to let itself move forward. Because the whole reason for this is the Star, and the area of your life, it looks like this is what you heal. So you are the boomerang, like you are this biggest significant change that you're going to experience. But I do want to say, like, you would have experienced this in a way that, things feel held back or timing feels off. Well, now I can't do that. Well, now I had everything planned today, but it's raining. How am I going to do that? So you end up being the boomerang. So I don't know if in some ways you've been held back and now you're moving forward. The Five of Wands. This is the door to personal healing and happiness. Where'd that go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. The Page of Cups and the Hierophant. The Five of Swords. Yeah, guys, because you have the Hierophant twice here. This is healing. The Four of Swords. You guys, I want to say that you guys might be healing something between like in a partnership here. Healing a partnership. The Hierophant. Okay, I'm just starting to come out. Ace of Pentacles and the Strength card. Ace of Pentacles, the Strength card, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. Now that comes out as very independent, the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. The door to personal happiness and healing is the King of Wands. If you have been lost in a relationship too, like if you just find you came to some sort of point in time here and you're like, who am I? I become lost in this relationship, or I become lost in this person. You're finding you. You're finding you again, and you're being found. You are the boomerang, Taurus. I feel like some of you find you, I'm going to say area of your life, right? So I really should say it in the pretense, because the boomerang is what's starting to happen. So I want to say some of you found yourself lost in a relationship, losing major parts of yourself in a relationship. And there's been like, that's the healing here is all over that. Like how you commit to relationships, how you show up in relationships, how much of yourself you actively, subconsciously give away in relationships. I want to say too, to the point where you find yourself just needing to get out of them with the Five of Swords, but the Four of Swords is healing all of this. There's been a lot of internal healing going on for you associated with this boomerang that I feel like is connected to outside relationships around you. And for some of you, something very significant, like a marriage or a common law relationship. And finding yourself on the other side. So you are the boomerang, Taurus. The symbolism of this contract. The Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Well, that's an interesting symbolism. Because we're talking contract, this looks like marriage energy. So being held in place with the Four of Pentacles, holding on, trying to hang on to stability around you, to see clearly. The Queen of Swords is cutting things out as well. It could be non-emotional thinking. Non-emotional thinking. Thinking is, it can be associated with your emotions, though, but that's what I mean. Like, this is non-emotional thinking, because these emotions are very difficult with the Six of Cups, the Lovers, and the Five of Cups. There's definitely, the symbolism here is so strong about really some of the strongest soul connections that you encounter in this lifetime teach you some of the hardest lessons. So the Six of Cups. Justice again, right? It's like that contract. Justice and the Three of Wands with the Six of Cups. Let's see where this goes. So the Lovers. The Eight of Wands, the Magician, the Five of Cups. So where's this go? The High Priestess, the Emperor, and the Ten of Pentacles. I gotta share this with you. This deck, this Ten of Pentacles, it's my favorite Ten of Pentacles out of any deck that I have. I love it. It's a tiny card, so I hope it comes in. It's so sweet. I just love that. It's this older gentleman, and he's holding a little baby, and it's just the sweetest little energy. I love that. It's so cute. Okay, so actually it reminds me of, I'll tell you this. So my stepdad, God rest his soul, he was also a father, but his son's wife was like really highly, maybe even a little neurotic, but anyways, overly protective. Never let him hold the grandkids. Never left him alone with them. Never let him hold the grandkids. And when I had my son, like, he was like his grandpa. So I'm like, yeah, here, take him. And I have so many pictures of him like holding them and stuff. And I remember my mom telling me this, and she said like he really is enjoying that because he never got to do that. He would, and I'm like, that's like a sin. So I don't know, I just like love looking at this. It's just so beautiful. Just take a moment there. So Taurus, the symbolism of this is give me a second with your Five of Cups. The High Priestess, the Emperor, and the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. There's something significant here about life's major course changes. Because the Emperor is with the High Priestess, and this is not something that's, it's a divine feminine energy, but it's not in the 3D. Oh, okay. So you have patience here with the Fool, the Tower, and the Empress. That's the divine feminine in the 3D. But so this Emperor, he's watching these kids, right? He's watching these kids, but it's like his counterpart is in the ethereal. Oh, I wonder if some of you have like lost a partner too. If you've been going through that healing. Because now I'm almost feeling like this Emperor now appears here, but he's holding like a grandchild, right? But there's no older woman around in this image. It's just two young people who have obviously had the baby and the dog, and this older fellow here with the baby. This is, wow, the symbolism of your reading really strikes a chord in the sense that, you know, it doesn't matter how much we plan for life or how we think it should unfold for us. It most of the time doesn't go that way at all. Like, interesting energy. Like when the Five of Cups. So and that's, you know, it's disappointing. There's some things that just are disappointing. And I want to say too, you may have had a partner and either you or this person, one of you took a more spiritual path here, and it was a division in the relationship as well. And then in the physical, you're kind of like living this separately also. It's really interesting. The symbol, oh yeah, there's more cards here. Okay, the Lovers with the Seven of Wands and the Magician. I think the symbolism of this as well is that some things are kept from you to help you manifest. One of the things I'm starting to feel with these readings this week is that the universe kind of coming in like a bit of a tough love energy, particularly in the symbolism placement, and particularly with yours. Something coming in here. I feel like too, some of you may have left a relationship and you look for a more spiritual connection in relationship for yourselves. Now, I'm going to say, okay, because remember, I think you're finding something or something's coming around for you in relationship. Like this Ten of Cups, it's full, right? Full of happiness, celebration, people together, rejoicing. I don't know why I can't talk today. I think something's happened in my mouth. There's been a shift, and so I don't know, my tongue doesn't know where shit is. Rejoicing together here. But it's almost like, I think the symbolism is everything that I've described, and may even thinking that's your course here. But I feel something more physical is the reason for this. Like the Ten of Cups is like feeling this, experiencing this with others. Because too, looking at this older gentleman here holding the baby, like he probably gets to see the baby when they visit. I do this in restaurants and bars and stuff. I just look at people and try to figure out their lives. But like, right? So, but when that time is over, oh, he's just him and his dog, right? It's just him and his dog. But still, he's got this foundation that he's built. But I want to say in some ways finds himself alone. So why is this rebound? Be careful with that. Why is this? Every time I come to the boomerang in this placement, like why is it taking place? I can never say it right. So just listen along all week and see how it comes out, because those might be significant channel moments. Victory. Why is the boomerang taking place? A for victory. Well, the Seven of Cups. Oh, and the Two of Cups. This boomerang is taking place to recognize deep soul connection. Yeah, nice. It's to take it's to help find the cup within the confusion. I feel like some of you were on a course here because you're the boomerang in this. I'm really picking that up, like you're the boomerang. You're on some sort of course, direction here. You had an ace. You're ready to go. But it's almost like it wasn't the right cup or something because the Nine of Swords was with it, right? So you've been patient trying to look for the right cup. But it's almost like maybe your cup wasn't right. And I mean like, because all this healing and personal happiness had to work through you. But the Ten of Cups. The Page of Swords. What's in the background there? What is in there? Oh, that's his chain. He has a chain over like an eagle or something. A swift observation and thinking. And the moon. Wow. I believe this boomerang is taking place for you to believe in your intuition. Your intuition is going to prove something to you here. Judgment. The Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords. It's like a very swift end to disagreements and conflicts. And that's something here that had to be healed. Disagreements. Oh, no, well, yeah. It's connected to the Five of Wands. They're connected. They're beside each other. But definitely healing. There's something about this Four of Swords that fascinates me because she looks like she's in early pregnancy. And I don't know, like, you know, sometimes you wonder about artwork, right? Like, 9 times out of 10, I think when you think you see something in a piece of artwork, is that what the artist was implying? I think yes. And then there's that 1 time out of 10 where no, it just lined up that way. And I don't know if it's the way the light comes across and highlights her lower belly, so it makes it look a little more pronounced or lighter. But I feel like it was intentional because light's an easy thing to adjust in a piece of artwork like that when it's a line of light, like shadowing it in or lightening it up. So I think there's intention there, that's something to be picked up on. In the Four of Swords, because the Empress, so I see how these two are connected. The Empress is full-on pregnant, but the Four of Swords is like early stage of pregnancy. And I'm just something to do with animals. I don't know what animal. I'm just kind of like seeing an animal. Like I see as a lion or a horse, but I don't think it's necessarily them. Where they go away, maybe like almost like this animal needs to eat different types of grasses or eats different types of foods to nourish something like growing inside of you, right? Because of the Five of Swords, like this is cutting things out. So an early stage of pregnancy, an early stage of development was happening in some sort of personal healing and happiness that you were opening up. It has this feeling of a sudden astonishment or realization too with the Fool and the Tower into the Empress. Like that's just, but then you have to be patient. Oh, I forgot Larry was outside. He is walking along the fence, smelling that fence line. The black cat doesn't come around anymore. He owns that fence line. That's Larry's fence line. Got such a personality. Okay, the Star. The Eight of Wands and the Death card. God, there's a lot of rebirth here. This is like a quick labor. I just want to say. I mean, the way we have this symbolism of like something within you gestationally, and then needing the right nutrients at a particular time for that to grow within you really well. And then this Empress coming forward with the biggest belly of all just before birthing something. And then you have the Death card. We're ending with the Death card of death and rebirth. So the Eight of Wands, like, and that's fast movement. You also have the Knight of Swords. I want to say your boomerang, if you were caught up in the tree, it's almost like a strong wind comes in, a Taurus, and it flings your boomerang out of the tree and you're just flying forward. The King of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. There's definitely victory. I want to say, if there's something personal here, some sort of a personal relationship between you and someone else, I want to say both people find victory here. Both people feel that this is advantageous. Also I'm also getting the message about, you know, when you work with your thoughts and you apply them in very practical and studious ways, I guess, with the Queen of Pentacles too, like really building on this, like there's victory there. So, you know, it's funny. I decided to bring the Energy Oracle deck in because I thought, after I did the Aries reading, I kind of thought, I want to add something that maybe adds a little more specifics. It still was very, like, there is something here about personal relationships, but it's still, so I don't know, like everyone's boomerang is going to be a little bit different. Maybe it's Rice Krispies that you've been able to find for a while, or I don't know. I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I am going to look at other positive boomerangs that are also coming in for you. So I utilize the Kippa deck and I shuffle to see, you know, how many comes out. I'm not going to dictate. So we're going to see whatever comes out for you in the extended. Thank you so much, Taurus. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.